our top story this half hour, reining in the threat of North Korea. President Trump speaking on the phone with the leaders of China and Japan last night about increasing pressure on the regime of Kim Jong-un. The three leaders will meet at the G20 summit in Germany on Friday to further discuss curbing the Hermit Kingdom's nuclear ambitions. Joining us this morning is author and former Navy SEAL Carl Higbie. Carl, what can we expect to come from this meeting? So much focus on President Trump being on Twitter, but this is the president actually working the phones and trying for diplomacy.
And the rest of the media would rather focus on his Twitter than actually accomplishing anything. But I mean, this is something that is a serious problem. I mean, North Korea we're facing is much like Japan during World War II. Okay, erratic. They have the resources to do some level of attack, but not rage a full-scale war off their shores. But this is something that needs to be supported in the region. Trade, and we'll talk a little bit about the South China Sea and things like that. But trade, all the pressure and sanctions we can put on North Korea is going to stop this dead in its tracks.
And it's pressure on China to put pressure on North Korea, and it was also an arms sale to Taiwan.
Correct.
All of which are concerted in this focus and effort.
Right, and what I think is getting in the way here is we have a lot of tension right now with China because of the South China Sea. They're building islands and they're putting stuff there, and we're sailing close to them because we, quite frankly, don't agree with the fact that it's their claim. And that's creating a lot of tension, I think, is clouding the issue in North Korea.
Well, let me just stay on that for a second and talk about the growing tension between the United States and China this morning. This is after a warship sailed less than 12 nautical miles from Triton Island in the South China Sea, which Carl was talking about. The tiny island is claimed by China, as well as Taiwan and Vietnam. China responded to the move, calling it serious political and military provocation. And how do we reconcile needing China, wanting China to help with the North Korea threat, and then this?
Well, this is something President Trump excels at, is the negotiation here. He needs to go in there and say, look, this is, there's 100 to 1,000 islands in there. You're building some. There's already some there. You're plopping runways on some of them. He needs to tell them exactly how far they can go. They're essentially claiming the entire South China Sea, with the exception of a few miles on either side of different countries like Vietnam and stuff like that. So they can't do that because that's international waters. There's trade and things like that. So we need to say maybe it comes down to us building our own island out there and just sticking a flag on it. I mean, if we have to.
This is not. Remember when Trump was having his dinner with the Chinese premier and left the room to go do the phone call to do the Syria airstrike, which was clearly a signal to China, I am a strong guy and you need to pay attention. And China took a big message away from that. Sailing close to this island is the same thing. This is about marking territory. This is about marking boundaries. This is actually kind of what the tweets are about, which is proving that he will take on anyone and anything, and he will double down always, and that's the only direction he goes in.
Well, the other challenge that he faces here is how his trade agenda meshes with these problems in the South China Sea and North Korea. He had promised that he was going to call the Chinese a currency offender on day one. He didn't. He was hoping to get their cooperation on North Korea, and so far that isn't happening.
It kind of is. They've stopped some commodities going in there.
Right, coal being the primary.
Right, but is he going to be able to win over the Chinese on trade in order to really get their cooperation on North Korea?
It's an uphill battle for sure, and that's where we're going to see the art of the deal. He needs to leverage the things that we have. I think what he's doing, patrolling the South China Sea, fine, great, it's perfect, and they need to know that we are not looking for a fight, but we will defend what was open shipping lanes at one point.
Well, let me ask you this, because he got he put the kibosh on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, on the TPP. That actually helps China, does it not? So again, in terms of our provocative behavior, him doing that actually gives China a leg up, and they know that.
It gives them a stronger economic position in Asia, in part because now other countries are going to say, well, the U.S. isn't a partner here. Where do we turn? Let's look at China.
To me, it comes down to what else can China do to put the kibosh on North Korea? What else can they do? I feel like all these moves by Trump are saying you better do more. What else can they do?
Well, so here's the big thing about China is they're not jumping around to try to get something done with North Korea because, A, they don't want American troops there. They like that buffer zone between South Korea and China that's essentially a black hole if you see it at night via satellite. They also desperately do not want U.S. troops right there on their border, which would be where North Korea is. So they're kind of dragging their feet on a little bit. I think long term, China doesn't benefit from an unstable North Korea, but they certainly don't feel secure with us having some sort of role in it. So this is something that we are going to have to take the action ourselves. If North Korea continues to do the things they're doing and going down the same route, I mean, they're saying basically they're going to shoot a nuclear weapon at us. I mean,
so
at what point?
That's a provocation. What action do we take? How far can we push them?
We need to draw a line right now and find out what, the red line in the sand, what we did in Syria. We need to find out what that line is. The military experts need to sit down and discuss that. And then we need to deliver when they do that. If they say, look, if you test a nuclear warhead, we're going to wipe all your military installations off the face of the earth. I mean, that may be it. I don't know.
And it was at the end of May we tested that anti-missile system in the wake of the North Korea threat. So there's certain things, and again, messages that we're sending to both North Korea and China that we're not going to sit by idly and let that happen.
Can we wipe out their military installations when Seoul is just sitting there like a sitting duck, right?
Right. That's the other thing. It has to be a simultaneous attack. Additionally, in like 6 months, we have the Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. Nobody's talking about that. I mean, this is a serious problem. They can lob artillery rounds there all day long. You know how many people would be killed?
I want to move on to the war on terror, and Iraqi forces have nearly driven ISIS out of Mosul after months of fighting. Yesterday, an Iraqi commander said that the battle is expected to be completed within days. Carl, what do you make of the retaking of Mosul? What does it mean in terms of the broad fight against the Islamic State?
I think it means something to our side, but it doesn't mean anything to the ISIS side because, look, they're fighting, but they're geographically expanding. They're in Western Europe. They're in Northern Africa. They don't need geographic location to carry out their caliphate. Sure, they had this city. There was a lot of historic significance, a lot of strategic significance to it, but long term, they don't need certain bits of ground. I mean, if you look at the map of ISIS, it's kind of really sporadic. There's not, and they're cut off in certain regions. They don't care as long as they have the ability to progress forward attacks. They're using this refugee movement to come into Western Europe, to come into Northern Africa, and we're not doing anything about it. It's just growing and it's moving west, further and further west.
Just in Britain alone, 3 attacks in, 72 days?
Exactly. And what does the London mayor say?
Well said. Carl, thank you so much.